All right, good morning, everyone. We'll give everybody a second, just in case we have some other folks still waking up and getting their coffee going, and then we will begin. All right, begin. Let's be mindful of everybody's time. I'm grateful for those of you who are able to attend in person, and I'm grateful for those of you who are taking a few minutes out of your lunch to watch this recorded webinar. So thank you, all of you in person, with your little rectangle, or watching us. I hope your salad's good. My name is Dr. Kate Ascetta. Um, I really should do a script for these one year, but maybe probably not. My name is Dr. Kate Ascetta, and I'm here to talk about the Special Education Itinerant Academy that will begin in summer of 2026. And this is sort of our informational session. For those of you who are joining us virtually, please feel free to drop questions into the chat or just like unmute yourself and ask. And those of you who are watching this recorded, send us an email if you have questions. We're here, we're a fabulous team, and we really would love to be able to answer all of your questions so you feel ready and prepared to go into the Itinerant Academy for summer 2026. All right, we'll do some intros. I've got a fabulous team here, and we're going to make sure that you get to know everybody who's here in the virtual realm, because you'll be working alongside all of us. Then what is inclusion? We know what it is, but let's really talk about it. Then we've got SEIT, so Special Education Itinerant. What is it? The Academy, the sort of the nuts and bolts. The tiered coaching, which Melissa will talk about, and you'll get to work with Jo and Dana on that as we move forward. And then how to apply. So you're excited, you're in, you want to do this. Now what? That's the application part. All right, so I'll briefly introduce myself. Again, my name is Dr. Kate Ascetta. I'm an assistant professor at UConn UCED, the University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities. I say with a question mark, I should know that. I have been at UConn for, I guess, since June. And prior to that, I was at the University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks, for 8 years, where I had a wonderful opportunity to work alongside these fabulous folks. I'm pointing because they're on my right. I don't know where they are on your screen. These fabulous folks, as well as many other people at the university running their dual cert program in early childhood special education. Prior to that, I was a preschool special ed teacher at a therapeutic nursery and an itinerant myself for several years. Research interests, not super important for right now, other than I think a lot about how to help and support educators in being more confident and competent in what they do so that they can be the kind of teachers that they want to be and that they stay in the classrooms. So we want to make sure that they're feeling good and they stay. Do more of the good stuff is what I say. Kerri, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Kerri Kannengieser, and I'm the program director for Skippy, otherwise known as South Carolina Partnerships for Inclusion. And it's crazy to think that we've been doing this work for just shy of 10 years now. It's so exciting to see all of the opportunities that we have. So we really appreciate everyone's interest in how they can look at their itinerant model, look at their continuum of services, and take a step forward. So I will pass that to the rest of my team. Melissa, why don't you just jump in?
Hi, all. I'm Melissa Griffin. I'm Technical Assistance Coordinator here at South Carolina Partnerships for Inclusion. And I have had the pleasure of working with Kate and Dana and Jo and Kerri on the coaching piece of the SEED Academy, which we will tell you a little bit more in a little bit. Dana?
Dana?
Hi there, I'm Dana Bennett. I'm a technical assistance specialist for Skippy, and we're here to help build belonging, partner with you, and help you in your programs.
All
Jo?
right. And last but not least, Jo.
Good morning. I'm Jo Wallace. I'm another technical assistant specialist with South Carolina Partnerships for Inclusion, or Skippy. And I'm also here to partner with you and support you.
Wonderful. So we've got a great squad of excellent humans that have been doing this for quite a while and are really thrilled in getting to work with you this summer. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are we talking about? So we're talking about inclusion. Now, people use this word all the time. It means lots of different things. Let's ground it in so that we're all on the same page for right now. We're really talking about early childhood inclusion, and we're thinking about what it means for young children with developmental delays or disabilities. So how do we include all children in our classrooms? And that is a pretty simple formula. Access, participation, and supports leads to inclusion. If you have access, that's great. But then they need to participate, and you often need supports in order to participate and have full access. And that's what leads to inclusion. You can pause this if you're recording it and read it. It's a very good definition of Inclusion 101, but we're going to keep moving on. Least restrictive environment in me. Why do we care about including kids? Let's say you're not on board with inclusion. Just kidding. Of course you are. But let's say someone on your team isn't. Let's go back to the law. So the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, states that children ages 3 to 21, that's the kids you work with in your school districts, are entitled to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. And that means that little humans should have as much access to the general education curriculum as possible. So what does that mean? It means that when we say for our 3-year-olds with an IEP, that they're going to go in self-contained because that's all we have, tut, 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 we're going to support you in saying, and we have these other options, which is itinerant. We often say that the placements we have are the placements that we have, but that's because we don't know another way. So that's why you're going to come to us and partner with us. Because I know that sometimes you sit at those placement meetings and you think to yourself, I wish we could do this a different way. I'm just not sure how to go about it. That's when you come to us and we support you in building an itinerant system and service model that works for your specific context. Every district's different. Every group is different. You're going to know best. We're going to think of us as the containers or the holders, the framework that's going to guide you to be able to do the kind of work that you want to do for your community. So we're going to make sure that we get those little humans, ages 3 to 5, into general education classrooms with their peers as much as possible, and not 1 hour a day kind of stuff, but full day with the kind of supports that they need. So what's SEIT? We've been talking about this. It's the academy. It's got on the cute little apple over there on the screen. What do we mean when we say itinerant? Itinerant literally means to move around from place to place. So it's the delivery of special education services where the child is currently located. If a child is if you're playing along at home, Fuzzy Bear Daycare, why would we pull them out if they're already in a placement? Instead, the LEA, the school district, is going to provide the services, boop, where they are. What does an itinerant teacher do? Some of you in your districts might be saying, I don't think that we do itinerant. Great, come on over. We're going to show you how to do that. Or maybe you might say, well, I think we do it, but for speech only. Great, let's think about all kids. How are we going to get them included? And then the third is, we're doing it, but I don't know. I think it could be different, better. I'm not really sure. Also, come on over. So whether you've got no SEIT, you're like, I don't even know what that is. Whether you've got itinerant for speech only, or you've got itinerant and it's kind of working, but you think maybe you could do a 2.0 version, that's when you're going to come on over and we're going to partner with you and think about that. So itinerant teachers, what are those humans doing every day? Well, they're doing guidance and support with the children's family. I'm going to talk about this in the next slide. It's really a triadic three piece model there. They offer indirect consultation services. In the academy, we talk about this heavily. Itinerant only works when we know that the child is really going to be intervened on in their general education setting. So if they're at Fuzzy Bear Daycare, Barbara and Babs, who are the classroom teachers, they are providing their primary interventionist. And we'll talk a lot about what that will look like, because you might be saying to yourself, I have no idea. Have no fear. That's our job. We're going to sort of support you in figuring out how to do that for your community. You're going to engage collaboratively with related service providers, obviously, and we're going to encourage the child to do self-regulatory skills, social emotional development, and all those kinds of things to have successful peer interactions. We want little kids to feel good about themselves, to feel confident and competent, just like you as grown-ups. And then, of course, the paperwork part, you're going to complete those progress reports, annual reports, and all the things that lead up to the IEP development. So that's sort of itinerant overall in a nutshell. And what does this actually look like? So you'll see here, there's the floating arrow, if you can see that. I don't actually, oh, maybe you can see it over here. We have, let's say that this is the itinerant, this is the classroom teacher, and then the little kiddo that we're working with. You'll see that there's an arrow that's bi-directional because the adult, the itinerant, is going to work with the classroom teacher. The classroom teacher is going to give them feedback, and they're going to sort of bounce and volley the different strategies back and forth to support the human. Sometimes the itinerant teacher will provide direct instruction, but mostly it's going to be the classroom teacher. Why? Because if a kid is in a class from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., why the heck wouldn't this person be the person to do all the intervention delivery? But we need to be able to support them. And that's where this bi-directional nature and relationship really begins right here. And then that helps this little kid do the kind of things that they want to be able to do. Make friendships, learn how to use scissors, all that good jazz that we want little kids to be able to do. All right, I'm going to pause here. If anybody has any questions about itinerant broadly, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to get into what I know you're really here for, which is what is this academy that we keep talking about? Maybe you've heard about it from your friends at other districts. Maybe it came through from an OSEP message. Maybe you've been eyeballing it and saying, I think this is going to be the year. This is the summer you say yes. This is the summer you commit to doing the kinds of things you want to see for children and families in your community. So I'm excited to talk to you about this. So the SEIT Academy, what are we talking about here? Well, the long story is many, many moons ago, back in 2019, actually, Dr. Heather Googe and I put together a preschool development grant where we were thinking about doing a virtual continuing ed series where we would support school districts in implementing itinerant service delivery models in their district. Well, we didn't get it. And then we did get it. So in April of 2020, I don't know if you guys remember what was happening then, but it was a pretty wild time. We did in fact get the funding and we built the academy. Prior to 2020, there was no SEIT Academy in South Carolina or in any other state. There still is no other SEIT Academy in any other state than the state of South Carolina. That is a unique, one-of-a-kind opportunity for you all to be able to get this. And I will say, I get some emails. They're asking, but it's only for you guys. So special. We really want to think about what that means. And we did that for a couple of years under the PDG funding. This is less interesting, but it's important to know that they saw the value in it. And OSIS said, we want to continue to support this work. We see the value in supporting school districts in this way, in increasing opportunities for young children to be served in their least restrictive environment, i.e. in their general education classroom. In particular, in their community setting, back out where they already were. Why are we pulling them all out to put them in a self-contained class for half a day? Let's keep them where they are. So, but you got to be trained. I don't know about you, but when I got my master's degree, there was no training in itinerant services. There was no training in coaching and collaboration. So we know you need it, and that's what we're here for. So the overview, oh, I love those are blurry. That's great. I was like, I think I need glasses. Anyway, I can read them to you because I know the words. So it is, what is it? You're like, okay, I'm in, this sounds great. What's the big pitch, the sale? What do you want me to commit to? The SEIT Academy consists of 3 4-week workshops, May, June, July. First one begins the very first week of May, which I believe is May 4th. They are fully online workshop series with a virtual meeting 1 time a week, Wednesdays from 9 to 10. I'll say that again, Wednesdays, 9 to 10. You have access to content where you're going to read, view, and try independently. So you think about it as preparing. And you're saying, oh, I don't have time for this. You do. You do because the videos are short, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. Again, just like right now, while you're watching it during your lunchtime. You're going to watch these little videos. You're going to read. You're going to try. You're going to come. You're going to think of this as preparing yourselves for the real work. That's what happens in August and beyond. And then these synchronous activities, that's a fancy word for one time a week. We're going to meet via Zoom from 9 to 10. And we'll go over that. And this is opportunities for your district as well as other districts to unpack the work that you've been doing all week and to start to think about building your itinerant model for your community. What is it going to look like? And everyone's is going to be a little bit different. And our three topics are itinerant instruction in the community classroom. How and what strategies are we going to use to teach in an itinerant model? Because we're not the classroom teachers, we're the itinerant. That's a very different vibe. So we're going to support you in what that would look like. Social emotional development in the pyramid model. Why? Because nobody gets referred to special education services because they can't draw a triangle. They get referred because they've thrown a chair across the room because they're frustrated. So that social emotional development is really, really critical, building those relationships and teaching those sort of and promoting those social skills. And then last, and certainly not least, I would argue probably the most important of the three in many ways is the partnerships, coaching, and consultation with community partners. We are only as strong as our relationships with others. It is critical that we build and understand how to build partnerships with Fuzzy Bear Daycare, with Early Head Start, with the Head Start down the block, with the Baptist church that has 40% of our kindergartners all attend there and that's where they're going. How do we partner with those childcares? How do we partner with those other programs so that when we go to provide itinerant services, the relationship is good? And then that coaching and consultation. Most of us who have gone through have a master's or undergraduate degree in early childhood or special education. We don't have a whole lot of skills and training in coaching and consultation of how do we build those adult relationships and support other adults in being able to be the interventionist. It's awesome that you know how to use a first then board, but can you train someone else in using a first then board? Because if you can't, that's okay, but itinerant's going to be real rough because the person who needs to know how to use the itinerant, the first then board is not the itinerant, but the classroom teacher who's there regularly in the community-based setting. And we're going to support you in that and what that looks like for your unique community. Now, I've just done a lot of talking at you. I'm going to pause again. August and beyond. So we've talked about the workshops are May, June, July. We meet 4 times per workshop. Wednesdays, right down the middle. Okay, just think about it. It's a whole summer with me. How fabulous is that? We now need to think about August and beyond. What does it mean then? That is when the real work happens. You can think of the workshops as the planning, the prep, the sort of if you're doing a steak, this is the marinating process. Now, August and beyond, you're getting ready to throw it on the grill. Now you're cooking. Before you're prepping, now you're really doing. And what is that going to look like? And I'll say, just I want to put that out there in case you're watching, or Shakira, you have a question as well. We've had districts go through this twice. So we've had lots of prepping and marinating time. Then they were ready to go to the board and hire someone. And then the next year they came back and they went through the academy together as a full team. So just want to say, like, know that that's a possibility. Even if you don't have an itinerant yet, but you know that that's what you want. How do you know how to build it if you haven't had the training and the support to build it yet? So what I would argue for you to say is, if you're thinking about it, just say yes and sign up and come as you are. And we'll support you wherever you are in your process of itinerant. So again, August and beyond, you've marinated your meat. Now it's time to throw it on the grill. You're going to do some cooking. This is where your coaching comes in. And I'm going to pass it over to Melissa, who's going to give us an overview of what coaching looks like related to itinerant services.
Thanks, Kate. I'm going to try and extend your steak analogy a little bit. We'll see how I do. So Coaching, how many of you have been to a training or gone through a course and thought, oh my gosh, this information is fabulous. I cannot wait to use this in my classroom. I'm so excited. I'm going to take it back. And you get back and you try it, and you're not real sure if you're doing it the way that you learned it, or you're not real confident in utilizing those skills. And so what do? You just go back to what you were doing before, right? And so when we were doing the theater, Kate was doing the theater academy, we were hearing a lot, or she was hearing a lot from the districts saying, okay, what do I do next? How do I do this? How do I do that? And while everybody loves Kate because she's the best, there's only one Kate. And so we had to talk as a team about, okay, what do we do next? How do we support our teachers and our districts in implementing this amazing itinerant service? We're going to have to take it a step further. And that's where the coaching came into play. And so thinking about coaching is really like, okay, so when do I flip my steak? How do I, how do I make sure that the seasoning is just right, right? Um, we wanted to build a relationship with districts, whether they have itinerant, like Kate mentioned, like if they have it, they don't have it, they're just thinking about it, starting to explore the idea. We can build a relationship. And that's why Joe and Dana are here, is to walk side by side with you and kind of work through the pieces that you learn in the Itinerant Academy and apply them in your classrooms. And so we have we had a wonderful See It coach a while back who created a model based off of, here you go, FEDIG coaching model. And so we start with universal consultation. So essentially, anybody who comes through See It Academy gets regular, check-ins and electronic communications. We do newsletters and tips and things like that, just automatically. If you've attended the See It Academy, you'll receive some of those things to kind of continue to grow and expand your knowledge and use of the practices. The next step is guided self-coaching. And so that is kind of more of a, for those who have experience in itinerant, or those who are comfortable in their role. And so then we have like goal setting, action planning. We still do monthly check-ins and help do some problem solving. So you have a situation come up, you can reach out to Joe or Dana, and they'll be able to kind of talk through whatever situation it is that you have questions about. And then we have our small group coaching, which is bringing together 3 to 5 educators across a variety of districts with a variety of experience and itinerant. We are going to be doing this twice per the semester, and we now have 3 small group coaching groups, but we can certainly add to that and would love to add to that. And basically, you get to share knowledge with your peers and discuss situations that you encounter in pursuing itinerant services. And it's just a great resource. I know that everybody who is in that category, they absolutely love it. And so it's really a great resource. And then we have our individualized coaching, and that is more one-on-one, more intensive support for people that are just starting out and are interested in pursuing itinerant services, to get some of that more hands-on, one-on-one kind of support and coaching. So that is what our model looks like.
All right. Sorry, I'm a horrible Vanna. So I'm gonna
Okay.
click you forward.
Next slide, please.
Thank you.
All right. So if you have gone through the SEIT Academy and you're interested in more than just universal consultation, all you would have to do is to reach out by email or calling and expressing your interest in coaching support. And then we have a questionnaire that we will send you that's going to get us some basic information about where your district is in the process of either creating itinerant services or implementing itinerant services. We will get with you and have what we call an initial coaching orientation session, talk more in depth. I'm giving you kind of a quick drive-by of what our model looks like, but we would be able to talk more in depth one-on-one about what that looks like and maybe what would work best. And then we would follow the agreed tier offering with different check-ins and resources. So Kate, if you would go to the next slide.
Yep, let's do it. Next slide.
Yeah.
What do we do?
This is how you apply. So, starting today, the application is open to be part of our 2026 cohort. Applications are due by March 12th. Come join Kate and our great team to start with itinerant services, start learning about it, start exploring it, thinking about how it would work in your district. And we only need one district team member to submit an application. You don't need to do one for each member of the district. It's essentially a district application, but you can use this QR code or click on the link and that'll take you to our SEIT Academy page and you can apply from there.
Wonderful. And if you were wondering, who's been through the academy? Well, there you go.
Yep.
So, I can talk about this, Melissa, if you
You
want.
can go ahead, jump in.
Yeah. So, we've been doing this for a couple of years. And we've had quite a few districts go through. As you can see, all the little yellow, for the key is they've completed the SEIT Academy. You can see the little dark blue is that they provide itinerant services. Orange is that they have implementation support. The little raspberry is the color I would describe that as, is early transitions, which we'll talk about that in the next slide. That comes and is a part of after the academy, talk about that August and beyond. Here's that extra piece that sort of comes with it. Again, also coming out of, well, let's hold on that for a minute. And then e-learning, because we also have additional e-learning. So we have e-modules that once you've gone through the academy, let's say you hire someone mid-year and you know that they would really benefit from learning this content, but you can't wait till May. Email us. We've got additional supports and e-learning modules for them to get the same wonderful, enriching content that they'll be able to join the team and get on the same page with you all. Anything else on the impact map, team? All right. Well, I'm seeing out here, we look like Aiken, Sumter, Williamsburg. Are you listening? We're looking for you. Any of these other districts, where are you at? Come on over. We really would love to hang out with you. So we want to light this whole place up yellow. Want to make sure that everybody feels like they have the kind of training and support that they need. Not because itinerant is the best, but because it's important that we support young children in their least restrictive environment. And if you don't know, how can you do? So we want to make sure that you feel knowledgeable and you feel confident and competent to be able to serve all young children in your school district. Because all those little humans that are in those child cares, guess what? They're coming to your kindergartens. And those kindergartners, they're coming to your 12th grade, hopefully. And if we do our job well in early childhood, we're going to have much higher graduation rates. So we really want to be able to support those young learners. But that also means we need to support the adults that support the young learners. And that's what the academy really looks to do, is to be able to support those adults in feeling confident and competent to be able to support all young children. So one more teaser, the early transitions initiative. This also came out of discussions from our first or second itinerant academy cohort. Folks were saying, like, this is great, like we really like this, but we're really struggling to find placements in the community for children at age 3. And we thought, oh, okay. So there were lots of discussions. And as you can see, school districts, community child care, South Carolina Partnerships for Inclusion, Skippy, South Carolina Child Care Inclusion Collaborative, oh, so many C's, and ABLE, South Carolina, really working all together to do dedicated slots in high quality childcare facilities. And this allows, let's get right to it. It's money for slots. The childcare in your district goes through, you've identified them as perhaps someone who is a good partner, someone that would really, that's really welcome and open to taking young children with IEPs into their classroom or keeping the kids that they currently have, but also looking to expand those threes placements. So giving those options to hold those threes placements for young children. And it is funded by SCDSS, of course, the Division for Early Care and Education. And it really works with the child cares to make sure that their classrooms are inclusive and ready and accessible and meet the standards that we know that all young children deserve to have as a high quality childcare program. And you all can participate in that as you move forward. So there we are. Look how cute we all look. So, oh, Kerri, we don't have one for you, but you should reach out to us. We're nice people. If you don't know us, we have a lot of fun. The Academy is a very, very special place, an opportunity for me. I mean, which sounds weird because I'm the one who sort of does a lot of the talking, but I really do love it. I feel very passionately and passionate about providing itinerant services and working with school districts. And I would love for you to be a part of our summer together. We begin in May. Applications are open. I don't know. Email us if you have questions. Don't be silent. Stay connected. Scan that QR code, like, subscribe, and whatever you're supposed to do to stay connected and get knowledgeable about Skippy and all the fabulous work that gets done there. Team, anything else I'm missing?
No, I think you covered it. Thanks so much, Kate. If
Yeah,
you
you're
have
so
any
welcome.
questions, we are available for questions now. We can stop the recording. And we did record this just so anybody who wasn't able to attend live can get this content at their, own timeline. So this will be uploaded to our website and YouTube channel. But we're happy to answer questions that you have now. But if you can't think of questions, like everyone has said, feel free to contact us via email, via phone call, via the contact form that I just put on there. We appreciate everyone's time this morning.
Thanks, everyone.